Are you a Filipino living in Middle East, Europe, Asia and the Pacific, USA or Canada? You are our story. You are our Filipinos World.
The Filipinos World every Saturday 5 to 6:30 p.m. only in the Filipinos World and the Manila Times Facebook pages.
Sign up for a year and pay less than 71 pesos per month. Visit tmt.ph/premium to get your free 30 days of the Manila Times Premium.
This program is in partnership with the Manila Times, Azul TV, and brought to you by Love Module, Bex Logistics Solutions.
Hello, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and to the Filipinos across the globe. I'm Karla Kangleon, and welcome to my episode Spotlight on Global Leaders. I'm all about connecting people and opportunities. As the founder of Expat Careers, co-founder as well of Livestream Network, and your host right here on the Filipinos World, I'm thrilled to be your guide to everything exciting happening in the Philippines and getting to know all the exciting people as well. So whether you're exploring new careers, looking to work remotely, dreaming of starting your own business, or just eager to expand your global network, we've got you covered. So we'll showcase the incredible talents of Filipinos, share inspiring stories, and keep you in the loop on the latest trends, and of course, let you know all the fun events happening here. And we are streaming via Facebook, The Filipinos World, and the Filipinos World YouTube channel, the Manila Times Online, and Azul TV Facebook pages, and my LinkedIn pages as well. So, mabuhay, 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 and welcome to the Filipinos World. And today, we're deep diving into the world of entrepreneurship, success, and achieving a balanced lifestyle. We'll be chatting with the remarkable John Aguilar, a serial entrepreneur, best-selling author, athlete, and the host and producer of The Final Pitch. John's journey is truly inspiring. He'll be sharing valuable lessons from his experiences on The Final Pitch, where he's witnessed countless entrepreneurs pitch their dreams. We'll uncover the secrets to a successful pitch and learn how to avoid common pitfalls. But that's not all. We'll also delve into John's latest book, Methods to Greatness, where he's distilled wisdom from interviews from 20 achievers in Asia. And of course, we'll discover common threads that bind these successful individuals and learn how to apply these strategies to our own lives. And because John is also a dedicated athlete, we'll explore the importance of physical and mental well-being for overall success. He'll share his personal fitness routine and tips on staying motivated. By the end of this episode, you'll walk away with practical strategies for business, personal growth, and achieving a balanced lifestyle. So get ready to be inspired and empowered. I'm thrilled to have John Aguilar joining us today. John, welcome.
Thanks, Karla. Thanks for having me.
I'm so thrilled to have you here. So your journey is truly inspiring. You're not only conquered the business world, but also made a significant impact as an author and as an athlete. So tell us more about that.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've conquered the business world. I mean, I'm like just everyone else who's just grinding and hustling on a daily basis. And the thing with what I do is that I'm always just not afraid to give it my all, and in so doing, constantly failing as well, Karla. That's kind of the secret to, I guess, if there is a secret to why I get to do all of these things, is because I'm not afraid to fail. So that's always part and parcel of every journey that I take, whether it's in business or in sports or in whatever aspect of my life that I get into.
Yeah, I was wondering. I've always wondered, ever since like I met you, because everyone's drawn to your positive energy, and I'm thinking, how, where did you begin? How did you begin your journey?
Uh, I that's a quite a question. I don't think there was really a beginning to this journey of mine. Well, I really started out, I guess, when I was still in school as an athlete. If I could maybe trace the beginnings of a journey, it would be that. I mean, I think being an athlete back when I was in high school and college, representing my school Ateneo in track and field, was quite formative for me. I think sports allowed me to really. I was talking about failure earlier. It allowed me to fail, right? It allowed me to fail, get back up, and just work my ass off with a vision to, one of these days be the best in that field. So, first failure in track and field for me was really pivotal because my first race I actually false started, so I didn't get to run in that race, and it really molded my psyche into what it is today, knowing that failure is always going to be part of future success. So eventually, I think I found a very early success in track and field. I broke a couple of records, and I was able to represent the country as well. And from that sport, it really formed how I would approach the business world and everything else that I will be doing in the coming years.
So, being an athlete and being into sports, so that means that you have always delved into challenges. So, coming into the business world, how was your transition for this? So as an athlete to an entrepreneur, what was your transition like? Or you've never stopped being an athlete?
Well, I've never stopped. Karla, being an athlete, I think I've always liked sports. I've always liked fitness. So when I actually retired from my sport, I never stopped exercising, right? I never stopped training. And I think that was integral to how I was able to cope through the years with everything that I was doing, because entrepreneurship business is quite stressful, Karla, as you know, it's quite stressful, and you encounter problems on a daily basis. And if you don't have an outlet, and if your body is not, I guess, responsive, and if your body is not fit, your mind is going to follow the same path, right? So I think it was quite integral for me to be able to take care of my body so that I would be able to address the issues, challenges that I would face on a daily basis when it came to work and when it came eventually to my business, which is TV, TV production and content production.
I'm going to talk about the final pitch. All right.
Okay, sure.
Let's talk about entrepreneurship, since you mentioned that, and the final pitch. So the final pitch has given a platform to so many aspiring entrepreneurs. So can you share some of the most memorable pitches of success stories that come out of your show?
Yeah. A lot of memorable ones, but one that comes to mind was a recent one during our 9th season when this guy who actually didn't make it to the show prior, Drums, was actually one of our contestants from, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was season 6 or 5. So he pitched that time, didn't make it to the show, but he pivoted his startup, and when he pitched season 9, lo and behold, not one, not two, but 4 judges actually picked him and actually invested and had partnerships with him during the finale. So I think he got a like a $500,000 contract from one of the judges, and it was all about for him just giving it another shot, right? Giving it another try, and kudos to him because he didn't let what happened to him in the past affect his ability to be able to pitch his new business. And in so doing, he came out as the big winner of the season, and truly inspiring, Drums, because he's a tech developer, and his business before was very different from what it is now. But one thing that he really focused on was how to find his identity as an entrepreneur, and he shifted what he was doing in the past to what he is now, and it really what he is doing now resonated with a lot of the judges, and they saw that this guy, uh, is someone who really hustles and is passionate with what he's doing and is not afraid to fail. So I think all of the judges were able to see that and saw his determination, and that really made it like the big story of season 9. And to this day we
Wow.
still keep in touch. And yeah, I always talk about him everywhere I go, and that guy is really the epitome of what a final pitch entrepreneur should be, which is someone who's not afraid to go out there, pitch, regardless whether or not you're going to get anything. The important thing is that you come back stronger from whatever failure you encounter along the way. So yeah, I think Joms is quite the entrepreneur, and very confident of his success in the future.
I would love to meet Joms in the future and ask him about his business. And congratulations to Joms for this one. What the resiliency and actually standing up, even if you did not make it during the first time, there's always a chance that you can make it with determination, isn't it? So I have gone through when I was over the years, I've gone through so many pitfalls, and so in a way, there's no way to go but up. So I think the resiliency there is I think the belief and positive energy really needs to be there, because there are many times that I could probably have some, I am my worst critic basically. So in a way, are there any tips for you to wake us up, and any methods that you can provide us with to keep the calm and peace and actually believe in ourselves? Would you have anything to share for this one?
Yeah, I think being your worst critic has its pros and cons. I think it's good to be able to put a little bit of check and balance to what you're doing. But I think, blame my eternal optimism, but I'm really of the belief that, when you're too busy thinking of how something can fail, then your ability to be able to take that first step is hampered. So I think sometimes, we're too afraid to take that first step, but I think it's just a matter of just silencing those inner demons and critics, and just saying, okay, I don't care what I feel, if I have an imposter syndrome, or if I feel I'm not yet ready. I think it's really taking the first step and actually doing something about it, not mulling over the possibilities of what can be, but actually taking concrete steps and taking a first step, whether it's sending that message to that contact, or asking for advice or help or support, or making that first phone call to that potential client or partner. So I think it's very important that although it is good to think of how we can, I guess, see how something can fail, but I think it's more important to actually do something about starting. So I think that would be something that I've always done. In fact, when I have a big, hairy, audacious goal or idea, I just take that first step, and it's going to take 1,001 steps, but at least you take that first one, right?
Would you remember your very first pitch? Your personal pitch?
Oh my God. You know what? Yes, I do remember my first. I think it was a long time. I was in high school. So back in the day, in school, this was in the early 1990s, and Tag Heuer watches were all the rage in high school.
Love. Yes.
And that back then, in my high school, everyone wanted one, right? And I found the supplier of Tag Heuer watches. So these are fake Tag Heuer watches, right?
Okay.
So I actually bought and tried to sell these fake Tag Heuer watches, but no one actually bought the watches, right? No one bought them. And it was my first attempt at entrepreneurship. And I realized quickly that, hey, this is not so easy after all. I mean, well, to begin with, people knew that what I was selling was fake, right? So it was a foregone conclusion that maybe if you're just really desperate to have a Tag Heuer watch, you would buy it. But long story short, no one bought it. But I think that first experience is a classic example of just doing it, like pitching a product, and failing immediately. But through the years, I think I've improved. I have never sold anything fake, and I think through the years, I've kind of because of the constant pitching that I do on a daily basis for my TV shows and everything, whether it's a book that I'm pitching to a publisher, or whether it's a new show, or whatever it is. I think I always approach each pitch as not something that is an end all and be all, right? It may be a path towards something else, whether I get that thing or not. I think every pitch and every rejection and every no just makes me stronger. As I think it should with everyone. It takes a a really strong stomach sometimes.
Like your book. You're like your book, The Art and Science of the Pitch, right? So it really is something that is. I would think that there are a lot of takeaways from that book. So, what is the main lesson from your book here?
Okay, if I were to talk about the main lesson, I think because the art and science of the pitch, the act itself of pitching, is something I feel that you can learn, right? I don't believe there is a natural born pitcher, because all of us, even when we're toddlers, we always pitch to something. When we want a lollipop, we cry to our parents. When we want to win the heart of, our boyfriend or girlfriend or spouse, we're also pitching, like, I am the right person for you, and vice versa, right? So in anything and everything, we're always pitching. But I don't believe that there are people who are natural born to do that, because I feel that pitching is more than just charm, charisma. I think if you do know what you would like to be able to give to the other person, because pitching can't be transactional one way, right? There has to be a benefit that you're actually pitching to the other person. There has to be a genuine solution, or something that they will want from you or will need from you that you can give.
The value propositions, and then to prepare for that one, that really takes practice, isn't it? To recognize the value of what I can give to someone, and what the other person can give to me, and to benefit for the business as an entrepreneur. What would you think is the best, or maybe not best, but what would you think is the biggest opportunity for entrepreneurs right now when it comes to business? Is there a particular industry or any business idea or anything that they can go through, which has the biggest opportunity?
Yeah. Well, I think I'd rather not think of it in terms of what is the opportunity right now. But if you're going to have an evergreen way of looking at opportunity, I believe that opportunity is always at the fringes of what is not being done, and what I think what you yourself are really passionate about. And I think it's actually marrying what you can do and be the best at with what has not been done previously. That's always how I look at anything that I do for the first time. It's always, what is something that's not being done that I know I can really hit this out of the ballpark and be the best at. That's always a constant kind of barometer for me. So regardless
Right.
what that is, and it's different for everyone, right? But that's always it. That's always it. What can I be the best at? That no one's doing, that has value in the world, that people will go, wow. I mean, that's new, that's exciting, and I want to be part of that.
First, let's say for me, when I would think of a business ever since I was younger, I would think of like, what do I need? What is the problem that I want to solve? and what can make my life better. So in a way, that's how I pattern as well, like some of the businesses that I've delved into. And actually, then I went to a journey as well, that thinking what is the gap here, and what and how can I solve it, because there's a gap, and then I don't see anyone like really doing it. Then I'll try to do it. Um, but do you think that it has a lot of to do with your personality and networking, and knowing a lot of people? Yeah, is there anything that you think it has some benefits to, like the idea that I have and actually knowing people? How can I create that into a business?
For sure, definitely. I mean, I think some people are just really scared to share their ideas with people. They think that, oh, this is my $1 million idea and I have to keep it to myself. But it's actually, I think it should be the other way around. I think if you have something that you think is brilliant and that you think should be out there in the world, I think the more people you tell about it, the better, right? Not only because it allows you to be able to kind of get their input and insights into what you're doing, but it also allows you to, in some way, subliminally involve other people in what you're going to do as well, right? When, for example, I first thought of the final pitch, I was at this event, this Go Negosyo event, and I was with my wife, Monica, and we were talking about, this place is packed with like investors, business leaders, politicians, and we've always wanted to do something like the final pitch. And I told her, okay, I think it's time. It's actually time for us to do it. And in the next maybe hour, I actually went around telling people about this concept of the final pitch, which is the Philippines version of Shark Tank that we were going to produce. So and right then and there, people were like, "Oh, okay, that's good. We need something like that." Or they were actually giving me ideas of like how maybe this thing could work. And it was by no accident also that one of our investors for the first season actually was from the first few conversations that I had that night, right?
Wow.
So it really goes to show that it's really better to talk about these things openly, because you'll never know if the person who's going to listen to that quote unquote pitch is someone that you will work with, or will be a future customer, or will be a future partner. So yeah, I feel like that's one of the best things you can do. And also, when you talk about something, you're already putting it out there into the universe, right? And when
I
you
believe in that.
yeah, right. I mean, I'm sure that's happened to you also, Karla, so many times. And I feel like that's one of the, I think, things that people don't do enough, because I think in general Filipinos are quite reserved when it comes to I think entrepreneurship in general. But I feel like it's really about time that we're more vocal with our plans, the things that we want to do, because you'll never know where this conversation can lead. Sure, it might birth your competitor, but competition's always good. So I feel like we shouldn't even think of that.
Actually, it's a good thing, because when we started as well, like the Pet Summit Philippines, so we organized Pet Summit Philippines, which is like we're very proud that it's a yearly event for pets, and to celebrate the animal welfare and responsible pet ownership, and to see that there are a lot of people already with pets right now, especially BGC and everywhere else. It is and making them as part of the family is a messaging that I use for my events. And you're right about actually saying it out there, and actually telling the universe this is what I'm going to do. And that's how we started with the event with Pet Summit Philippines. And so I really highly am a believer in this kind of, saying it to the universe, but at the same time, telling everyone about your plans, and asking and actually being open to suggestions.
Labmodal manufactures a highly distinctive and exclusive range of interior solutions that combines functional excellence with design appeal. Solutions with integrated, innovative, ergonomic features to well-designed workplaces. Our company is based on the inherent values that shape the core of who we are. It is through our living values that we continue to fulfill the promise of our ideal and environmental design standards. Each and every groundbreaking product we've introduced over the years has been the result of our team's hard work and dedication to provide our absolute best to who we care most about, who is our customers. Whether the job is big or small, our team is used to solving complicated tasks and makes sure to get projects to successful completion. Whether it is local or global. This is why Labmodal is known as one of Europe's leading manufacturers of innovative system solutions for devices used in laboratory facilities, hospitals, and educational facilities. Solutions that can be easily adapted to the growing needs and workflows demands of the future. Labmodal, designing safety.
Thank you so much for your inputs for the final pitch. And of course, now we'll talk about Methods to Greatness, your book, and the lessons that we can learn from it. So tell us more about how you came up with this.
Yeah, so you got the book there. So Methods to Greatness actually started out as a podcast. During the pandemic, we were all stuck in our homes. So I figured, okay, why don't I start this podcast where I interview Asia's greatest in different fields. So you have entrepreneurs, athletes, cultural icons, with the objective of learning from these great people and applying my learnings into my own life. So I wanted to be a guinea pig for what they were doing successfully in their lives, regardless of what they were doing in what field. So long story short, during the pandemic, I came out with that, and the world's biggest publishing company, Penguin Random House, actually offered to publish my book. So The Art and Science of the Pitch was the first one. Methods to Greatness was the second one. And so when we launched Methods to Greatness, the book last year, we also launched the Methods to Greatness documentary series as well, which is a spin-off of the book and which is a more in-depth exploration into my attempt at incorporating into my life the things that I learned from all of these great people. So the documentary series was quite interesting because I was able to show to people my return journey, or my return as an athlete. So at that time I was 45 years old. I'm 46 now. But when I returned to my sport, track and field, I actually returned as a master athlete. So masters, if you are not aware, if you're over 35, you're considered a master athlete. It's another way of saying, these are the older athletes, right? So the master athletes compete against their fellow master athletes in 5-year increments. So I'm competing with other master athletes 45 to 49 years old. So when I returned to my sport, I documented how I trained, how I got injured, how I was able to get into all of these health, wellness, and longevity protocols that I incorporated into my life and my lifestyle. And it was quite the experience getting to know all of these experts and doing really a lot of things to improve my health, whether it's mental health, my physical health, my abilities as an athlete. And I was also able to fortunately go around the world and exploring different modalities in places like Switzerland and in Finland as well, and across the Philippines. So this was quite an exploration, not just into my personal transformation as a person, but also what what people are doing around the world that, quite frankly, when I was doing it myself, it really opened my eyes to just how people at this point in time can actually prolong their lives and live healthier, happier lives just by making fundamental lifestyle changes and sometimes even incorporating high technology into routines. So very, very interesting first season of Methods to Greatness, which we filmed.
Where can we see it?
Yeah, so we aired it on One News on Signal TV, and it was also broadcast in 103 countries worldwide via GMA Live TV. So, but we are going to come out with more material online. So now that we've shown the entire series on broadcast, we're going to actually create more content that will be spin-off from the first season. Also in preparation for the second season, which we are doing now.
And where can they find this book?
That's a good question, because I was told that I think it's sold out already. So we actually just finished the Manila International Book Fair. The books are available on Amazon, so you can always order them on Amazon. But they're also available in fully booked and national bookstore branches. But I apologize ahead of time that you might have to call ahead of time, because I was told that I think the book already sold out, which I think is a good problem to have. But still, I think my publisher, Penguin Random House, is printing more copies.
Congratulations with that. That's a good problem, isn't it? Congratulations to you. And of course, with this, you mentioned that you've gone around the world to check on what methods there are to their greatness. So you've also experimented for sure on all these methods. So can you tell us more about one particular method made a profound impact in your life?
Oh, okay. I wouldn't say profound impact. It's just that it's really interesting, and you've done this before. I know.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was in Finland, Finland is like the sauna capital of the world, and it's not sauna, right? It's sauna. It's pronounced as sauna. It's the only Finnish word in the English dictionary. And when I was there, I was able to really get neck deep into the benefits of sauna, because I did it quite extensively in Finland. It was in the middle of winter, and more importantly, I was able to engage with breath work and cold exposure expert Lee Ewan. And I kid you not, I was submerged in 0 degrees water in the middle of the Baltic Sea, and I was able to do the ultimate cold plunge in nature. It is like one of the best experiences I've had in my life. And the thing that makes it quite interesting is that I had done like a cold plunge in Lake Zurich a couple of months back, and that time I was not prepared. I was just there, and I just submerged myself with a couple of people in almost 0 degrees water as well. I was panicking, and I lasted all of 30 seconds. But when I did it in Finland, because I was with an expert who prepared me how to breathe and how to accept the cold and how to just approach the cold and the exposure, I kid you not, I lasted more than 3 minutes. But because of the way I approached it, I think I could have lasted 10 more minutes. Right? It was just really about having the right mindset. Yeah, it's really about mindset. Because the first time I did it, I sort of panicked. I didn't know what to expect. It was quite new to me. I think just having the proper preparation and mindset really allows you, your body, and your mind to overcome, something as trivial as 0 degrees temperature water. I think the body and the mind are such powerful, manifestations of nature and what it can do. And I feel like as human beings, our potential, our capabilities, we've only, I think in our day-to-day lives, we've only just touched on them. But when we're faced with experts and people who are more aware and are more intimate with nature and how you can overcome it or work with it, then you and your body and your mind can do so many amazing things. And that's what I learned from that experience in Finland, and something that I take with me to this day.
That is so fascinating because I also had my very first ice bath at Fifth Street in May, and the it was my first experience. And to dip in there, the breath work, it was good that I was surrounded by coaches who actually knew how to help me with it. So with that journey, it's like really the breathing and then the mind. Once I meld into I went into a pathway wherein it was like a journey of just opening up and letting go with anything in my mind. It was more of like I was at peace. Did you feel that way?
1,000% yes. And when I was there, one of the things that my coach told me was that when you're there at that moment, just look out into the nature, right? Which is what I did. I imagine this endless expanse of ice and snow. I was just looking out into nature and just letting the view just take over me. And not really thinking about anything, just thinking of and feeling my breathing and just enjoying nature at that moment. So I think when you take yourself to another place and you just really forget all your worries and you come to a Zen moment that allows your body to just overcome the cold and actually embrace it. So that's how I felt, and it was just an amazing feeling.
As a leader, you are a leader for me, and for me you are a global leader, and I think you have impacted a lot of lives. Now, what can you share to other leaders with all the learnings that you've gone through, experimenting on all these methods, speaking to the other successful leaders? What tips can you give to others who are busy with their businesses or corporations? Could you share with us some of your insights on it?
Yeah. Well, I think one thing about me is that I always think of myself as a beginner. I always think of myself as a sponge, always absorbing things that I do not know. I never think of myself as an expert, right? Or even a leader, right? I always want to be able to approach the world as if I'm seeing everything and experiencing everything for the first time. And when you have that mentality, the beginner's mindset, which is called Shoshin in Japanese, when you approach life that way, it's like you're open, right? Because when you know so much and when you're so good, you believe in yourself so much, you're kind of closed in that sense, because you know that you're good, you know that you know these things. But when you're open and when you're constantly a beginner, then it opens up your mind to possibilities of what can be done outside of what you already know. So I feel that a lot of leaders are looked up to because of their stature, where they are, what they've done. But I think it's always important to be able to forget all of that and not believe in and not drink your own juice and
Good,
just
cool.
feel it,
I was
right?
Yeah, actually
Uh,
being vulnerable at that vulnerable state is when you actually open yourself to more opportunities. I feel it is something that I also felt when I was on my lowest of lowest. That I was my vulnerability also kept me, open to a lot of things. So in a way, I think from I believe that always being curious, always surrounding yourself with people who are smarter than you. I mean, I always try to surround myself with people smarter than me. That's not hard to find because there are many much smarter than me. And of course, John, I am so fortunate to have you here and learn from you a lot of these things. Now, you have the final pitch. You have also your books. What else is in store for you? I mean, there's just so many things that you're doing. How do you keep up?
um, how do I keep up? Well, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't keep up.
Okay.
In fact, I had just come from a now almost 3 week illness. So I got bronchitis, and I knew it was going to happen. I knew at some point that I was going to get sick because prior to me getting sick, I was all over the place. I was, I competed in Sweden, and then got back to Manila. Manila flew out to film the final pitch in Dubai. Went back to Manila to film the finale, and there was just so much going on, and my sleep was really a wreck. And I got sick, right, and it was really bad, and it kept me in bed, out of commission for 2 weeks. I'm just getting better now, but I think it also allowed me to just accept that, yes, I am not getting younger, although I do have a lot of things that I want to do and accomplish. But sometimes we really just have to rest, relax, not think of our goals, and sometimes just be lazy, right? Because
Yeah.
it's also equally important sometimes to not be so productive, not do all of these things that we want to do. And that's what I learned these past couple of weeks. But I knew it was going to happen because I could feel it. I knew looking at my calendar that, oh my God, I'm something's going to something has to give, right?
Something's
Until
gotta
enough,
give you. Yeah. Sometimes like you just need to stop, because sometimes stopping, taking a pause, then you can actually breathe and then feel the moment and actually appreciate everything around you. I know that when you're busy, you got to go here and there, and I mean, I've seen you in a lot of shows as well, and then you have all these attendances in conferences, and so I believe that you are just like a an energizer bunny. You can go anywhere, but it's nice to hear that you actually can stop and say, all right, I'm gonna take a breather here. But of course, to the point that if you get sick, I think that would be something that would make you really stop. Okay.
Yeah, it was a four stop, Carla. It was a four stop, but it was a good four stop, I think. I
Mm.
think sleeping in, um, just sleeping in and not thinking about something that I need to do, not thinking about work, and also not exercising, which is really quite uncharacteristic of me. It's so hard for me not to exercise, Carla. So
Yeah.
those able to do anything was like it was like totally torture for me, right? I have to stop myself from doing something like exercising. So that was really
Yeah.
tough for me, but it was a good pause nonetheless.
So, what's your personal fitness routine like?
Oh, that's it varies, Carla. It depends on what I'm maybe preparing for. Ordinarily, I would lead a very balanced exercise routine. I always balance a little bit of cardio, it's not too much, but a little bit of cardio. A lot of strength training work would be maybe 3 times a week. I would be in the gym. I would always supplement with doing something different, like swimming or biking or doing some kind of active recovery. But it's all about balance for me in terms of my fitness routine. I also do sauna on a constant basis, like I would say 3 times a week. And lately, I've been doing cold plunges as well. So I've set up our house since the pandemic to be like the
I'm
ideal
coming
life.
to your house.
Yes, it was because we set it up like a pandemic house, right? We actually finished building our house during the pandemic. So that time, there was no gym, so we actually created like a mini like oasis in our home. So we have a home gym. We put up a sauna, and then recently we also installed a cold plunge in our balcony. So it was a DIY cold plunge from a chest freezer that we bought in Wilcon Depot. Did this whole DIY that you can actually learn in YouTube.
Okay, that's a very good idea. So, would you say, what about diet, nutrition? How do you, what do you do? What is your routine?
Okay, because I get to exercise so much and train, and some people actually hate me for this. I actually don't really watch what I eat so much. Generally healthy, but I eat everything and anything. And the sheer quantity of what I eat is just, yeah, I eat a lot. So I need to be able to, fuel my workouts. So I eat a lot. I just make sure that I eat a balanced meal. Everything in moderation is key to that. So yeah,
I
it's
think because nutrition is very important when it comes to workouts. You do a lot of workouts and different kinds. They're diverse, right? It's a variety of things that you do, and of course, diet is very important. But it doesn't mean diet is restricting your eating. It's more of just being conscious about what you're eating, right? So, is there something that you cannot stop eating or you can eat every day? I'm just curious. Is it something that is like your
yes,
poison, basically?
my kryptonite, sweets,
Yes.
definitely. I have a sweet tooth.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
Chocolate,
found,
ice cream.
yes, of course, yes, chocolates. And genetically, I am predisposed to having a sweet tooth. That's one of the things that I did. And in Methods to Greatness, I actually was able to analyze, DNA wise. I'm really built to crave for sweets. So that's actually how I'm built. So instead of kind of not, I mean, I do eat sweets, but I just make sure that I eat a balanced meal. So there.
Yes, and balance is actually subjective. So it really depends on you and me. It's like an individual kind of uh, assessment, basically. And I think the best way to assess it really is to check as well with your doctor or nutritionist if there are. So, do you have any recommendations on who to have as a partner for nutritionist or any other dietitians that we can ask? I'm asking for a friend who is me. I'm asking because I need to find a way to also find a balanced diet. So, what is balance for me, basically, right?
Yeah, I think it would be good to, because there are so many out there, right? And
Mm,
as you said, it's case to case. But I feel like you really just have to work with a professional who you're comfortable with, right? I think at the end of the day, the choices that you make on a daily basis of what you eat, how much, and even the supplementation that you take, it has to be aligned with what you feel you can do as recommended by your professional doctor or nutritionist, right? I think you have to both be able to agree on the feasibility and viability of what he or she is going to recommend to you. Because at the end of the day, if you can't do it, if you can't uh, follow the recommendations, then what's the use of it, right? So I think
yeah.
just a realistic setting of expectations and acceptance also that, okay, you did ask for help. Are you willing to do what it takes to be able to take your health to where you need for it to go and follow the advice? So yeah, I think that's maybe a healthy way of looking at getting advice from a professional or a medical practitioner.
Yes, I think that I agree completely with that. So, one thing is, how is sleep for you? Well, how important is sleep for you?
Oh, Carla, super important. Um, I've been doing a number of experiments the past year.
Okay.
There have been times because I do have an Aura ring, so I get to monitor my sleep on a nightly basis. There were times when if I had a consistent schedule, I knew that my sleep would be optimal, right? I knew that because I was doing all of these hacks, I knew that at a certain time in the night, I would dim the lights. I wouldn't eat past a certain hour. I would not consume water. So all of these things I did to be able to optimize my sleep, which was effective. But what really screwed up my
Mhm.
sleep was this constant traveling and changing of time zones. And I knew that once that happens, I had to be able to find the best way to be able to get my sleep back to its normal state. So that's one of the reasons why I got sick, because I was traveling constantly, and sometimes when you're also doing so many things, your monkey mind takes over, and you think of all of these things in the middle of the night when you wake up at 2, 3 a.m. and you can't stop just thinking about all these things. And so
No,
it is, yeah, it's a struggle. It's something that I have found like formulas to kind of get it there, but it's also something that I struggle up till now. In fact, right now, if I look at my numbers, I'm actually at the extreme opposite of where I was a couple of months ago. Right now, I am stressed and okay, let me look at that because I have the data, right? And
wow. Okay.
right now, in terms of my resilience, I am low recovery and high stress. If you see that, but I came from all the way up at um, uh, low stress, low stress and high recovery. I came from here. Now I am way down here, and it was
Tell
because
us
of
more.
all.
How do you get that? What are you using software?
Oh, that's the Aura Ring,
That's the order.
OURA. Aura
Okay.
Ring. Yes, that's the Aura Ring. So it's quite prohibitive. It's quite expensive. It's I think around $400. You can only get it from the US. Um, but there are a lot of, I think, alternatives that are going to flood the market in the coming months and years. I know that Samsung is going to come up with their own ring as well. They have come up. I'm not sure if it's here. Also, Mwell,
Yeah.
the MVP group has their own. So I think the democratization of these smart devices is really going to help people in general track and do something about their sleep and health. So yeah,
Very exciting. I want to feature that in Fifth Street next year. Okay. That would be very interesting. So what's the biggest piece of advice that you might have for young Filipinos who are dreaming big and want to make a difference in the world?
I think for any young person coming into the workforce or thinking of putting up their business, I think a great way of looking at doing something for your future is actually looking at what is something that you can do that you're really good at, that would be, if you do it, something that will create an impact in the world. I feel like all of us are put into this world for a reason. And one of the best days of your life is the day that you find out why. For some entrepreneurs, it's discovering that breakthrough. For some people, if you're employed, it's knowing their place in that company and being the best at it. And so I feel that I think a good approach would be to just try early on, although most likely it won't come early. Sometimes it takes a lifetime for people to find out why they were put in this world and what they were meant to do. But I think when you find that and when you discover what that is, that's going to be, truly a revelation that is going to be life changing. And it doesn't have to be just one thing, because I think for every season in our lives, there's always going to be that big thing that we're doing at that moment. So I feel like it's, well, at least for me, it's a never ending exploration and evolution of what I do and what I'm going to do in the coming months and years. So um, I like to think of myself as a serial entrepreneur in some sense, because I feel like the evolution of who I am, what I do, is something that excites me and something that I actually relish and appreciate. And and it's always looking at something, doing something with the intention of making a positive change in the world, creating something that people will not just love, but will really want to make a part of their lives. I feel like whatever it is that I do is always going to have that component of creating value and making people improve on whatever aspect of their life that is. So I
Would
think
love
that's
to learn more for this one because I'm so sure that there are many things that entrepreneurs would like to learn from you, even through experiences, through vicarious experiences. We can definitely learn from others and from you especially. And of course, speaking of the future, what's next for you, John? You've done so many things.
Okay, so for the future of Methods to Greatness, the first season was all about me doing all of these things. But for the second season, I'm actually going to be involving corporate teams into Methods to Greatness for these people to undergo their own Methods to Greatness journey. So if season one was all about me being a guinea pig, now season two is going to be about these corporate teams engaging in the things that I did, but actually creating changes for themselves, their lives, and their companies. And it's going to be an exciting journey because it's all about learning, and it's all about giving back, right? So I learned first season how to do these things. So season two is going to be other people doing their own Methods to Greatness journey. So that's what's in store for the second season.
That is exciting, and I can't wait to see it. And of course, that also resonates with future projects that we will be having. Kudos to you, and kudos to your team, and especially my love. Please send my love to Monica. She is some amazing lady that I think I would love to have also on the show at some point. I mean, the power couple, you and Monica. I would love to have you both here, and you can and everyone can experience the journey that you both have, and at the same time witness how amazing you both are. It's like a power couple, and I cannot describe it. But because for you guys watching, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, take John's advice to heart, because we have a lot more lessons as well to learn from the final pitch. And can you tell us, John, when is the next final pitch?
The current one is airing now on One News, and we're actually preparing for going global. So I won't talk too much about it, but there are plans for us to take the final pitch outside of the Philippines, and that's the big thing that we're preparing for next year. So yeah,
wow.
That's
okay, guys. For those of you entrepreneurs with great ideas, validate your idea, build a strong team, and never give up on your dreams. And of course, no matter what your goals are, remember the importance of a balanced lifestyle. And of course, we have learned a lot as well from John here today. That a lot of lessons that we've taken on, especially for me, I also learned that sleep is very important, and how to stay sauna. And of course, going back to, please take care of your physical health and mental well-being. Don't be afraid to push your limits. And of course, maraming salamat, John, for sharing your insights. They're very valuable, and I really, really appreciate you. Such an honor to have you. So to our viewers, remember, the Filipinos World is your platform. We're here to celebrate achievements, connect with opportunities, and keep you inspired. Thank you all. Thank you, John. Paalam.
Thank you.
Mafe Management is a company dedicated to empowering individuals and businesses in PR and marketing, social media management, online show and podcast production, business consulting, graphic design, photography and videography, workshops and classes, events management, personality development, logo creation, illustrations, and animation. In working together to turn their dreams into reality. Get one step closer to elevating yourself and your business by contacting hello@mafemanagement.com. Let us empower you.
Sign up for a year and pay less than 71 pesos per month. Visit tmt.ph/premium to get your free 30 days of the Manila Times Premium.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This program is in partnership with the Manila Times, Azul TV, and brought to you by Love Module, Bex Logistics Solutions.